Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnick here. Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. I've got
Rupakshi Sharma.
Rupakshi Sharma is joining me here live. Rupakshi will also be a part of a lot of the promotional work and the recordings and the moments in time which we'll have during the World Cup. That is the ICC T20 World Cup of 2022, which will be held all in Australia. So welcome, Rupakshi.
Well, thank you so much, Norman.
It's good to have you here now. Rupakshi obviously has an Indian background. You're from near Delhi, correct?
Yeah.
And she's been on a few episodes already. We're also going to be joined today by, if everything goes to plan, with David Graveney, who is the former chairman of selectors of the England cricket side or cricket team from a period, I think it was around 10, 12 years. He's a learned guest to be on the program as well. We're also going to get, I was going to make sure the volume's up nice and high. Yes, it is. Okay. We're also going to have potentially Bahram Irani, Mohsen Sheikh, Nilakshi Sharma, not related to Rupakshi Sharma.
That's similar to my name is Nilakshi Rupakshi.
Exactly. She is based in Assam, which is northeast of India. North India.
That's famous for the tea in world. Like the best tea comes from Assam.
Yes, Assam tea is one of the best. It's also a very wet place as well. It gets a lot of rain.
They're very green, like full of greenery. Yeah.
So that's what we're going to have potentially in Lakshya. So Nilakshi Sharma, Rupakshi Sharma is here. We're going to have Mohsen Sheikh, David Graveney, and also potentially Bahram Irani. I'm invited Gurkrat Singh Gill as well. A lot of people are going to be involved in this program. Buri Majunda will be on his program as well, Rev Sport. So we're going to be talking a lot about the World Cup. But of course, today, in fact, only a matter of roughly an hour away, we'll have the third T20 international
between Australia and India.
That's right, between Australia and India.
Happening in Nagpur?
No, Nagpur was the second.
Ahmedabad?
Hyderabad.
Oh, hi. Oh,
Ahmedabad now. So we've had the first match was, obviously, that was held in Australia, in fact, won that match quite convincingly. And then we had the second match in Nagpur, which was reduced to
because of the rain?
Because of the rain, it was reduced to 8 overs.
Just 8 overs.
Only 8 overs, which is that really a game?
No, it's not even a half game, like not even 10 overs.
Yeah.
So what would you say?
I don't think it's a game, but they went ahead and played it as a game. Let's see who's joining us here. We've got Bahram Irani is joining us.
Hi Norman, how are you?
Good, Bahram. We've got Rupakshi Sharma.
Bahram Irani, how are you?
Hi Rupakshi, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
You guys have been on the show before together?
Yes, not physically, but yeah, screen-wise.
So, Bahram, where are you now? You're not in Philippines. You're in Indonesia.
Yeah, I'm in Jakarta right now.
Jakarta.
Indonesia. So you are in Indonesia.
Yes, Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay.
Very nice.
So we're going to be joined. David Graven is joining us today, Bahram. Probably Mohsen. Of course, he now has been officially made the high performance coach for the so-called Afghanistan side for the entire World Cup, which is very exciting. We've also got potentially Gurkrat Singh Gill coming on, and obviously yourself that's here now too. So people are already asking, our Earth is best as raw boy, are you sure? So what he's talking about is team selections for Australia. We'll get to that in a minute. Of course, this match is the third T20 international between India and Australia in Hyderabad, which is much further south. Of course, we played in Nagpur, which was wet. And the first game, where was the first game? It was in Mohali. Correct, Mohali.
Correct.
Australia won the first match. India won the second, but to me, it's not convincing to win in 8 overs. What do you think, Bahram?
Well, given the way India performed, I would want the T20 World Cup to be 8 over matches.
That's like very easy win for India, like just playing 8 overs and then get the victory. Wow.
See, well, it was the minimum match and you cannot disregard it. Like, and that's it. Like money talks, Norman. They had to play it for the sake of, the advertiser. So that was no option. And since it was a match, it does count. You cannot say think of it like a super over, right? Like when you have a super over India and you do go and decide the winner or the World Cup champion by the winner of a super over. So when such a big championship can be decided by just 1 over, then how can you disregard a match of 8 overs?
Yeah, I think the nature was in support with India. That's why the rain came and just made very easy for India to win.
They were using every means possible, using hair dryers, whatnot, to dry the ground so that the match could be done.
We're going to talk about a few things. Obviously, if you can go 8 overs, why didn't they go 10? Is my question. Anyway, now Josh Philippe has scored 100 domestically here today. New South Wales, Victoria, the likes of Queensland are all playing currently domestically, which a lot of the Australian players potentially. I saw Dave Warner on another broadcast. He's not just relaxing. But there is the big question. OCFB has talked about the man cut rule. Now, we'll talk about that more later. But the reality was Dipti Sharma, who I know very well, has taken upon herself to run the batsman out. It wasn't seen. It's no longer called a man cat, although it is a man cat as far as
It's a woman cat.
A woman cat. I like that. Here we are. There's a new name for it. Good. What a
It's a woman
Brilliant.
cat because no way it can be man cat.
That's really funny. Woman cat.
That is
Well, we can only call it. I believe we can call it only Mankat till the end of this month. From the 1st of October, it will be a proper.
But like when
it would be a proper run out.
But let's go back. I love that from Rapakshi. Isn't it clever? Man cat, woman cat.
I'm a woman, so I'll support a woman. So women were playing, and thing whatever like this she did supposed to be woman cat instead of man cat. There's no man in whole game.
But hang on a minute. The truth is, Rapakshi, I love that. But there is a person whose last name was Mancat.
Oh.
So it's actually a real person. His son, Baran, by the way, Rahul Mancat, was a good friend of mine.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh.
So, but the Mancat man who played for India was a person. But I love that. Woman cat. We've heard it here first on Eyes on Cricket.
Sorry, I'm apologize. I take my words back.
No, that's all right. Yeah, our Earth is best at saying why Australia is ignoring Philippe most of the time. He is next out in Pilgrims. There's too many people in front of Philippe. There's Josh Inglis, Alex Carey, even Wade. There's a few in front of him, isn't there, Baran?
Yes, I definitely would agree. Australia has a good arsenal of players in the that they can use. So let's see. And with the way Wade is performing, you can call him the best batsman in at least the last week in the world. Forget in the series. I would say is the best T20 batsman in the world.
Amazing.
India never lost any series in Hyderabad, especially T20. What's your opinion, Norman?
Well, that's a good point. It's a pretty good omen, actually, what we're getting asked by Deepak Dubey, who used to be a regular. India never lost a T20 at Hyderabad. That's a pretty good stat in favour of India, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Hyderabad loves next time.
Yeah, they love it. And it's the condition. In Hyderabad, if I believe, it's a lot drier down there.
Yeah.
Be a lot drier, I think.
Well, Nagpur, if you ask me, actually, Nagpur is it comes right in the center of India. So it's, it gets the least amount of rain from the westerlies and the easterlies. So if you ask me, that is one of the driest, you can say, except if you're not talking about the deserts, but in that area, but it depends whether Nagpur gets its rain from. If it got it from the easterlies, then Hyderabad would be more raining. If it's from westerlies, then maybe okay, Hyderabad would be dry.
But Nagpur rained, so that blew everything out of the window, didn't it, really?
Yeah.
Okay, what's this comment say here, Rebecca?
Our Earth is the best. I like that. Cameron Green will play a big part today.
Certainly. I mean, Cameron Green. Baran, can you understand why Cameron Green wasn't selected in the T20 World Cup squad?
I would say Cameron Green has come of age, Norman. Like, is just suddenly he has blossomed out. Like, given his till now his performance, at least what I saw on the international stage, was very, how can you say, mediocre or average at the best. Nothing to talk about. But this T20 bilateral series with India, like the innings what he played in the first match was really commendable. So and he has really blossomed out. So still, it's wait and watch and definite. See, anyway, the World Cup is being played in Australia, so anytime Australia wants, they can get Cameron Green in. So it's not going to be a big problem, right?
What's Deepak?
Okay.
What's
Yeah.
Deepak?
So your prediction of top 4 in World Cup, I know the answer. Okay, let's see.
Okay, go for
So
it.
first Australia, India, New Zealand, and England.
Okay, so you're not including. They're coming from a typical Indian. They're leaving out Pakistan. Terrible. That's all right. That's okay. That's a good.
So which one should I skip?
No, but that's a good selection because Australia, England, New Zealand, and India. Correct? Australia, did you say Australia,
India, England, New Zealand.
I don't know. That's fine. That's a good selection. What do you think, Baram?
My top 4 would be India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Australia.
Wow. Now, we're going to remember these. Okay, so Rapakshi said we're going to talk about this later. When we're doing seeing your son popping up and down in the back.
Yeah, he's
Bring him on set.
Be cheeky. He's trying to get some of his stuff.
So you're from India or you're from Pakistan?
No, he's from India.
No, I'm from India originally.
And you live in Indonesia?
Indonesia, yes.
Oh, nice.
I just shifted here to Indonesia. Before this, I was staying in Philippines.
Yeah, because they have very big notes, 10,000, 20,000. That's why I just.
Yeah, correct.
You must be very rich there.
Okay, so Rapakshi has Australia, England, New Zealand, and India. Baram has Australia, New Zealand.
Well, we need to definitely. There's one comment from Praveen. We need to see how the groups are and who would be the coming on. I believe India, Pakistan are in one group, right? For the T20 World Cup.
Baram, you picked Australia, Sri Lanka, India, and Pakistan, correct?
Yes.
Now, if I would agree with you if they were playing in the subcontinent or UAE, but the truth is that I go for 3 of your sides, Australia, India, and Pakistan. But I think England will handle the Australian conditions better than Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka do very poorly, and they don't normally do very well on bouncy pitches. So it's a matter of acclimatization. I understand why you picked them because they won the Asia Cup. I'm not too sure.
Not only Asia Cup, the team dynamics have drastically changed, Norman, and given the coach that they have, the England coach, I think he will definitely train them because he knows the Australian conditions well enough, and the way he's getting the boys together or getting the act together, it's Sri Lanka is a team to watch out for.
You mean Chris Silver?
Yes.
All right. Let's just have a look here.
Surya Kumar.
So what do you think about Surya Kumar on this pitch? He'll do well. How 3 teams come to the semis? And okay, so the question is, there are 3 teams coming to the semis. Well, who are in that semi? India?
Australia?
No, I think the next statement, Australia, England, New Zealand belong to the same group. So only 2 of them can, what I understand.
Well, so I don't think New Zealand will get through, to be honest with you, on that basis. Okay, let's have a look here. Praveen Ivan says Aussie, England, New Zealand belong to the same group. He's right. Yeah. So we're not going to be able to get. So Baram, you didn't pick. You said Australia, England,
New Zealand, and India.
So you can't have those 3 because Australia, England, and New Zealand are in the same group.
Oh, Australia and New Zealand.
So hang on.
But I think I have seen New Zealand playing with India.
We'll have to look at. We'll get a check on that. We'll get a check on that in a minute. So we'll have a look. If someone is injured,
just a second, Norman.
World Cup, Green will play. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi, Norman, Indian daughter. How are you? Ashwin Kartik is younger than you. He's a teenager up in Darwin.
So Pradeep Kumar Sahu, Sir, Australian selector misjudged performance of Team David because Team David performance so poor. I personally think because Team David just got selected in the team and he needs some time to prove himself.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally agree. He needs time to prove himself. David Graveney, hello.
I know what?
We're joined here, David, by Rapakshi Sharma. Have you met Rapakshi before? You have?
I don't think so, no. How are you?
First time on show.
Well, she's
Hi,
been.
David. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm well briefed to talk about Mankad.
Yes, so you're talking about the Maggie. And Barama Rani you met before too, David.
Yeah, we have. Hi.
Now, we normally have the Lakshi Shan.
Hello, sir, David. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Baran. How are you?
Fine, fine. Good to see you.
So, David, we're going to be talking a bit about India and Australia, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get your perspective on the Pakistan-England series as well, which has really been two extreme matches, haven't they?
They have, but I think England are beginning to show their hand in terms of the options that they have. I've mentioned to you, this is not hindsight, I've mentioned Harry Brook to you before.
You did.
And he, without doubt, is the best player I've seen since Josh Butler, I would think.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he is a proper player. And, you're seeing all the quotes of English bowlers who have to play domestic cricket and they just can't bowl to him. His range of shots is phenomenal, but, it's... and I would have to say, actually, I think what has stood him in good stead is played in the Pakistan Premier League. So he's used to the wickets, used to the bowlers, and he's a really delightful young man, and he's going to have a huge career. But he'll be much in demand with all the franchises around the world. But I know that he wants to play Test match cricket, so he will.
How old is Harry now?
Sorry,
how old is he?
22.
22.
Something like that. Yeah.
So this is where we've talked about David Gravey, of course, the Pakistan Brown, talked about Harry Brook very much early on in the piece, and he's come to fruition. He is a batting all-rounder, or is he just simply a batsman in your mind?
He can bowl, under 19 level he bowled. Young lads like to be involved in the game, don't they? They like to field, bat, bowl, do the lot. So he was captain of the under 19s and the World Cup that was in New Zealand. He's just a really impressive. He actually went to a boarding school called Sebra, which is actually famous for rugby players, not necessarily cricketers. But a guy called Martin Spate, who played for Sussex and
I've heard of Martin Spence.
Yeah, and he was the master in charge or the cricket coach, and I think it was a really good living experience for him to move away from home for 2 or 3 years. He would be the closest that Yorkshire have produced to Joe Root, which is about the best accolade you could have. So, and there are certain times when he bats where he's not dissimilar to Joe, but I think he is the product of the modern T20, the modern white ball game. He has a range of shots that he feels very comfortable, and he knows when to play them. He plays the scoop, not because he wants to be a cool dude at the wicket. He plays the scoop to make sure that the opposition have to have a long leg.
Amazing. So, would you say there's a similarity between A.B. de Villiers and Harry Brook?
Might be, but I don't want to heap too much on him. But if everybody's fit for England, they're going to have some interesting decisions to make in their batting lineup. Because Josh Butler's not playing in this, Bairstow's not playing in this. So when do you slot them in? So
Moeen Ali is proving to be a good captain as well on this format.
But he has captained. Well, Birmingham Phoenix didn't exactly do too well in the 100-ball game, but he is. Well, it's a good country for Mo to captain it because he'd be really well received by. And I think it's really good to see that actually, Pakistan, just a Pakistan normal cricket fan has been starved of live international cricket. So they're very appreciative of both sides, really, just that they're playing. So, but, the other two, Rizwan and Bambo, for them to have put those runs on in the second game, well, that was just unbelievable, really. They went at 10 and over.
Double century. They had a double century.
Yeah. But they went at 10 and over. They needed 10 and over for the whole innings, and they started at 10, and they just kept going at 10. They hit I think Pakistan just don't have the depth of batting that England have. that sort of, Moeen Ali coming in at 6 is a serious, dangerous player because he can get it out. And I've said to you, Norman, the first time I saw him, he hit the ball harder than anybody I've seen for a number of years. So it's quite slight. It's quite possible to hit this first ball straight up in the air. But the makeup of the England team now is good. I think they will go well. I think Australia will be a challenge just because the pace and bounce of the wickets. I think Pakistan wickets are not dissimilar. It doesn't seem to me that the dew has an effect. So it'd be, I think the sides are taking shape, but I just think that England have an embarrassment of riches in the right possible way. That who is the best 11 out of this lot. So
they're leading 2-1 in the series so far. This is 2-1, and this is the 4th T20. In fact, it's going to be in Karachi again.
Yeah, it's 4 in Karachi, 3 in Lahore.
So what can you explain to me how England can win quite emphatically in the first match? Pakistan turned around absolutely thumping one in the second, and then England flipped it back again for the third. What is going on with this form? Why is it so fluctuating?
Well, I think, Norman, that if the side batting first posts something around 200, the side chasing has got to come out of the stalls pretty quickly. And T20 is not a game that you could suddenly, you use a couple of wickets, you're going to play yourself in. You've got to keep swinging from the hip straight away. What happened in the second one is they didn't lose a wicket, so they could chase it down pretty comfortably. Well, not comfortably, but England realised sort of halfway through the piece we've got to get wickets, otherwise we can't stay in the game. So that was the perfect chase, to do it halfway through.
It was a perfect chase. Probably the best batting performance I've ever seen in T20 cricket, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so chase 200. 200 is you say to your batting line, oh, don't worry, boys, you just got to go at 10 and over from ball 1. That is big ask. But the wicket seems to be
like that during the World Cup. Watch out if they lose wickets.
Yeah. But I just think if you were in the opposition camp or I was in the England camp, you would say the first two are, and this is not be disparaging to the rest of the batting, but they're major players are the first two. If we can get them out, or even get one of them out, then you've got a foot in the door. And they couldn't achieve that. And, it hinges on drop catches. Hales dropped Rizwan when he was only 20.
That's right.
But I'm not saying 2020 is a lottery, but it seems to be, I think anybody can beat anybody. So, it depends how you play on the day.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot early on in this piece, despite what's happening with Pakistan versus England and Australia versus India. Rapakshi was talking about her 4 finalists for the World Cup, and she went through Australia, England, New Zealand,
and Australia, New Zealand, England, and India. Yeah, how can I forget India?
Baram included Sri Lanka and
India. Sorry?
Of course, she's going to pick India, but
but I think I picked rightly because India do very well in cricket. That's why we all.
That's right.
I would do the same, but I would probably put Pakistan in. Actually, I'll tell you who I would do is a bit of a dark horse. I would put Sri Lanka instead of New Zealand.
Now you and Baram have both said Sri Lanka, but okay, they won the Asia Cup, and I'll grant that. But in Australian conditions, I don't know whether Sri Lanka will handle the pace and bounce of the pitch as well as England and India do.
I've said to you, I just think New Zealand have done fantastically well in the last 4 or 5 years, but I just think they're going over the top a little bit. Sort of Bolt, Southey. This might be their last swan song. I've always expressed to you, I think Williamson is struggling with his elbow and not repeating the same number of runs. I think people know how to bowl to Guptill up top. So I think New Zealand, I think they've got some fantastic players, but I'm just not sure of their form going into the thing. And I'm not sure who's supposed to be bowling spin for them. I know spin may not necessarily be a major weapon in the T20 in Australia, but you still need some variation, because England, wherever England play, again, if I was playing against England, I would target Rashid, because if Rashid bowls well, the whole bowling unit of England is on a different level.
Well, you know, Mohsen Sheikh is very often on the show, David. You met Mohsen a number of times. He's now the high performance coach for Afghanistan in the World Cup.
No, I saw that. Yeah, really good.
As well as the Asia Cup, which has just gone past. I'm very proud of him. Of course, he was involved with the Rajasthan Royals back in the beginning too, so his breadth is certainly there.
Yeah.
David, the other question I wanted to ask you now, during the World Cup, I'm going to be going around all the grounds and following a lot of England matches as well, so I have to get you involved with that, especially from your selection. Luke Wood, tell me more about him. No, we all know about Mark Wood for me. What is Luke Wood?
Well, his injury record's not fantastic, but if you can get him on the pitch, it's a bit like Geoffrey Archer. If you get those two on the pitch, you've got the quickest bowlers in the world at present. So he would be fresh, and I think in Australia he could be a real handful. So yeah, I just think, like in knockout tournaments, coming to a peak is such an important thing. And I think India have got some fantastic options, but there seems to be a little bit of debate who should be playing and not be playing in terms of batting. So I don't think, for instance, Rohit Sharma is in fantastic form. Kohli is definitely not in fantastic form.
Although he just scored 100 against Afghanistan not long ago.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad he's got some runs. Before that, he hadn't got any runs at all. So, yeah. So
David,
they would be my fault.
I wanted to bring it back to the Australia, before we go any further, Dave, I just want to bring it back to the Australia-India match specifically. The form of Cameron Green in this series, the third match is in Hyderabad tonight. They're about to toss the coin. What do you think of Cam Green at this point in time, David and Brian?
Well, I've said to you when we've been talking about red ball cricket, he is the link. He is the balance that makes Australia a formidable test team. You've got, Australia tried to survive. Not tried. They were very successful with a 4-man bowling attack, but 2 of those happen to be the best bowlers in the world in terms of Warne and McGrath. And they've resorted to a 5-man attack, and that's why Cameron Green is the balancing bit in the middle. They obviously have to replace. Is Finch available for this tournament, or is he finishing before?
Hang on. Did you say with the Cam Greens? What did you say about Cam Green?
No. I said Aaron Finch. Is he finishing before the World Cup or after?
No. He's finishing the ODI.
Right, ODIs, not
But
T20.
Not T20. Oh,
Yeah, I was saying ODI.
yeah, ODIs. Aaron Finch is now retired. With
Yeah,
the T20 World Cup, he's going into the T20 World Cup as captain.
Okay.
But I would argue he will finish his career after that tournament.
Well, I think they've part of the cricket leading up to the World Cup is to try different players in different positions. So opening the battle with Cam Green seems to work fantastically. So he's just a really talented cricketer. And he seems to be a bit more consistent than some of the other, Warner and Finch have been fantastic players. But again, are they slightly over the top now? But it's again options that they have. So see what happens, really.
Yeah. All right, Brian, what do you think of Cam Green?
Yeah.
Not forgetting, Rapakshi will also talk about this. Cam Green's not selected for the World Cup, which is beyond me. He's absolutely smashing all goals here in this current series. He probably will be the first replacement choice, but he's not in the squad. Brian?
Well, as I said, till now I found, like, except for this bilateral series or a little before that, I thought Cameron Green as a very, at least in T20, I would say a very average player and a slightly good player in the red ball cricket. But for this bilateral series, his couple of innings, like he has really shown that he has some good shot selection and good capabilities, and he has the talent. So he has blossomed up very well and can be a good choice for Australia. And given that the World Cup is in Australia, so I don't think if they want to get Cameron Green inside, it would take much time.
True.
So options are still open.
Paxi's got some news.
Yeah, the India won the toss and they decided to bowl first.
So that's just been announced. India, in fact, won the toss and elected to bowl first. So that's the news, which
is the match starting early today? I thought.
Sorry?
I think the toss is usually pretty much.
Usually toss happens 30 minutes before the match, right?
What's that?
I said the toss happens 30 minutes before the match, right? So,
that's correct.
So the match is early today. Usually starts at like 9 p.m.
Win the top. It's 11. It's 30 minutes before the game. It's starting 11:30, not 12:30. The Pakistan versus England match starts at 12:30. It's an hour later. So effectively. Okay. So what are we looking at in terms of the toss? If India won the toss and elected to bowl first, that should mean what?
Well, where are they playing? They're playing in Hyderabad, are they?
Yeah.
Does that have a history of dew under lights?
I don't believe it's as pronounced as some of the other places, to be honest.
But India has a very good track record in Hyderabad. Like in T20, they have not lost, what I understand.
No, that's very, very good. But I just think that I think people in T20, unless the wicket is going to deteriorate and get slower as the game goes on, people would want to know how many they got to chase. So they would feel more comfortable about it. It's only, I think, if the wicket obviously deteriorates and, taking the pace off makes it really difficult when you come to the crease, then most people would want to chase.
Yeah. So are you suggesting?
I have a question here. It might be a ridiculous question, but do you feel a 180, 190 score is better than a 200 or a 210 score? Like it gets the opposition a little confused, because if you score more than 200, the strategy is like for the team batting second is clear. You hit from ball one.
Well,
like, I know it sounds a little.
Bayram, that second game where Pakistan won by 10 wickets. Some of the predictions of what the wicket would do were just, on TV in the UK, they were saying, well, 160 would be a really good score. So England got 200, and everybody said, well, that's a winning score, and they lost by 10 wickets.
It's hard to predict. Baram, I get your point, but scoring over 200, they've got to go for it from the start, correct? They'll be more aggressive, and they can really run away with it. Whether it's less total, they can be somewhat more conservative and build up to it. I get your point.
Yeah.
But I think Bayram is a lower total. I think it has a bit more nuances as the game progresses. If you're chasing 220, unless you get a good start, you're dead in the water very quickly after the power play, virtually. So I know that some people do chase bigger scores, but it wasn't a 50 the World Cup 50 over between New Zealand and England, which New Zealand were very unlucky to lose. That was a great game of cricket because it was an even contest between bat and ball, so it fluctuated all through the day. And you'd want that in a T20. You don't want a complete flat wicket where the bowlers just get absolutely massacred. They've got to have some options.
Paxi's got an update with the team selection. Can you read that for us?
Yeah, like India and Australia, they both made the change. In India, like Rishabh Pant goes out and Bhuvneshwar comes back on the place of Rishabh. And also Australia, Josh English for Sean Abbott.
So for Sean Abbott.
Instead of who?
So like
Josh English for Sean Abbott.
Sean Abbott, right?
Yeah. So Josh English and Ishwar Kumar, they both the chains.
Yeah. So it looks like it looks like India have gone for a bowler over a batsman because they've dropped Punt out with Dinesh Karthik, and so they put Bhuvneshwar Kumar into bowl. Yeah. But Australia have done the opposite. Josh Inglis has come in as a batter, and Abbott's out as a bowler. So India and Australia have done opposite changes. Interesting.
As if they knew who's going to win the toss.
They probably didn't know that India won the toss. Right, they can't make the changes after the toss.
What is going on between Pant and Karthik, who's keeping wicket?
It's very confusing to me.
It seems a very, very political decision, that in some ways.
it's almost as if they're trying to imply that Dinesh Karthik is a better finisher than punts, and they can afford to put one or the other in. It always should be Rishabh Pant, as far as I'm concerned. It almost as if they're thinking Pant will be in as a batter, not a batting keeper. And that's the impression, because it's always punt in or punt out. It's not Karthik is the static player in the team. Now, I don't know what their mentality.
Well, I saw him keeping the IPL, Karthik, and it was as if he had two symbols on his hands as opposed to two gloves. He's a dangerous bowler, but Pant is, how he played in the Test series was phenomenal, really. So,
all right, we've got
their reasons.
We've got the Indian team. Actually, could you read
Also, Rohit Sharma is captain, and KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, Dinesh Karthik, and Akshar Patel, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Harsh Patel, Jasprit Bumrah, and Yuzvendra Chahal.
That's the Indian side.
The Australian side?
Yeah, the Australian side is Finch and Cam Green is now in an opening position. Interesting what will happen in the long term there. Smith at 3, Maxwell 4, English 5, Tim David, which we talked a bit about David, I think, some time ago. Matthew Wade as the keeper. Pat Cummins. Daniel Sams has got a continuing Guernsey with his left-arm bowling. I think he's like a like-for-like for Mitchell Stark, actually. Adam Zampa and Josh Hazlewood. So they've got Daniel Sams as a replacement for Stark, it looks to me.
But he can also bat, Sams.
He can too. I really rate Daniel Sams. I think he's a tremendous talent, and he should be a long-term prospect for Australian short-form cricket.
Yeah. Well, the same as that guy, Ellis, the seam bowler that appeared from nowhere. So, yeah. Be a good game, same as the other one will. So I might have to peel off soon, Norman. So if you want to talk about man-cadding, I'm very happy to talk about it.
I'll quickly get you to talk about man-cad very quickly. I must laugh, David, because Rapakshi not knowing the derivation of the name man-cad, because Dipti Sharma was involved. You know what she called it? A woman-cad.
A woman cat, right?
I didn't know that it has a history that it's named after a man.
That's good. I love that.
Away.
Yeah, it's very unique. It's a new name we can give to when women's cricket is a woman cat. I like that.
Yeah.
Quick thoughts, David, on man-cad before you go.
Well, I've read the comments from you and Chris and whatever. I'd have to say that one of the incidents that probably hasn't been highlighted in a previous one-day international, that Sophie Eccleston caught a catch on the boundary, which was deemed to be under her control, as she actually dived. Fantastic catch, and inadvertently put the ball on the ground. And the only relevance to that, Norman, is that Gloucestershire played, this is years and years and years ago, where they played a semi-final that basically went on till 9 o'clock at night. This is with no floodlights. The actual 9 o'clock news in the UK was put back, was delayed for the end of the game, which is unheard of. And during the match, Farouk Engineer caught Mike Proctor down the leg side and actually turned his hand over, and it was obvious that the ball, though in his glove, was touching the ground, and that was deemed to be not out. So that was deemed to be out, and Gloucestershire lost and Lancashire won. So that sort of situation is quite sensitive. It's not in the rules are the rules, and the one thing I don't know what the conversations were leading up in that over of whatever, or any warning had been made. I played in an era when if somebody was trying to take an advantage in terms of backing up, the bowler would say, "You do that again, I'm going to run you out," and it would have probably been given out. I think what you have now, Norman, is that the fitness of the players is such that if you are the non-striker and you get a bit of a fly, if that's the right expression, if the ball just hits a long off and long on, the non-striker can get back. So the long off and long on has to throw it at the wicket-keeper's end, which it becomes impossible. So it is actually quite a big advantage. So, it's obviously not in the spirit. I'm sure the two sides probably didn't exchange too many words at the end, but it's not breaking any rules. But I personally would like to see the warning introduced and the umpire is aware that their warning has been made, and then you go from there.
That would be a fair balance by giving a warning and then it's open slather.
Yeah.
Just
Second
quickly
time,
though,
right.
it's actually technically a run out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you run out. Yeah, so but it does leave a pretty sour taste in the mouth. But the rules, this is the rule, you know. And I can understand the Indian players saying, "Well, that's in the rule book," you know. But I think the rule has to be changed or clarification that there's one warning, second time you're out. So
I think that would be a fair thing to have a
Yeah,
warning.
very fair. Like it just feel like she's doing
I would-
doing for purpose, like just pretending, and then makes no sense. But
And it won a match.
yeah,
unfortunately.
won the match.
No, Norman, Sir David, I would just slightly add on to your Husi. I would completely agree that look, for the bowlers, like even if their foot is like not even 1 mm behind the line or inside of the line, we give it a no ball. And whereas indirectly we are saying it's okay for a batsman to like be 2-3 yards down and take an advantage. Means I don't know. I find it very weird that we are in a way we are saying we are okay with that. I would like to go a step further and like put it, if we want to, talking about spirit of the game and all that, like I would say, why not put the onus of this on the umpires? Why is the warning to be given by the bowlers? Why not with the umpires, and why not even take it further? And let's say if the put it on the third umpire, like right now no balls, everything are going there. If they see a batsman has crossed, you deduct the run. You don't you deduct 1 run. And that is an immediate warning from the third umpire. Why don't we keep the onus on the umpire over there? Why it has to go on the fielding team or on the bowler?
That makes sense.
Yeah, the
That
third
makes sense.
umpire has always been I can remember, David Shepherd, the umpire, who was a very popular umpire. I played with him as a player. And I know that he found it very difficult when there's coming to the end of a game, sunlight and things like that. That can happen at Old Trafford. And Pakistan beat England and deserved to win. There wasn't any problem about that. But Saqlain Mushtaq was bowling, and he tended to sort of sometimes buy quite a lot of no balls. So Shep is trying to work out what's happening at the business end, and probably missed some no balls. But because the pitch was sideways on, and television cameras, they obviously picked up no balls. Whereas actually now, and it's taken years and should have happened before, it's the third umpire should indicate to the umpire, excuse me, that it was a no ball. So that third umpire just sits watching a TV screen. He could do a lot more than just do no balls. He could do that scenario, but unless something happens, then you could have the non-striker sort of in a sprint position virtually. He could be running as he sort of behind the line. So when he hits that line, he could be going at high speed. So, in theory, you've seen lots of balls hit to long off and long on, and the non-striker get back running too, which some ways shouldn't happen really. Well, I like your plan, I think, but you don't want, it's been a fantastic series. India played really well. England have played some young people, which has been really good. But they, you don't want it to end in a situation like that is unsavoury for everyone. Some of those girls have never played at Lord's before. You want them to, walk away thinking, well, that was a really enjoyable thing for me to play in.
And the fact is that they broke down and cried. The girls involved, quite distraught.
Yeah.
All right. Now, David, thank you for your time. We've got Nalakshi Sharma's joined us as well. Hello, Nalakshi.
Hello, Norman. How are you?
Lakshi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Actually, we both Sharma, Lakshi Sharma.
Yeah. So with about 3 or 4.
Your name is. I've seen you on Instagram, Rupakshi.
All right, David. Thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. You've been wonderful.
Actually, don't take it personally, but I've got to go and cook, join Sunday lunch cooking in the UK. So if you allow me
That's great. Have fun.
And hopefully we will meet again at some stage.
Well, David,
It's all right.
you're more than welcome to be. When we get through, especially the World Cup, you're going to be a vital cog. We'll cross to you whenever England are playing in particular, if not generally. Your Harry Brooks story is what we need to hear, because you have literally introduced my viewers and all our viewers to him way back before he was even in the side. It was your predictions which have come true.
That's when you're chairman of selectors, Norman. Some work, some don't.
I mean, who's your biggest selection that you're proud of out of all the selections you've made in your career?
Kevin Peterson was quite a controversial selection, only because him as an individual. I think when you identify people who are necessarily don't have the track record. So when Michael Vaughan was selected, his first class career it was okay, but it was, and he turned out to the player that he was and a captain and whatever. So yeah, but like for every good one, Norman, there's also not a very good one. So.
I think it made more good than bad.
Right.
Thank you, David. It's been wonderful. So you're going to be. We'll have to get you a proper World Cup England shirt. We'll have to arrange something to be sent to you.
I was just about to say that's a very nice shirt, but yet the other people participating on this call don't have the shirts, Norman.
They're going to get them. I'm arranging now with the
not for the ladies. They look fine.
The Fanatics, they call themselves. They're the official merchandise and ticketing supplier. I'm meeting with the guy in the next few days. He's out here for a familiarization. I'm going to get him to get truckloads of shirts. And we'll spin them out all over the place.
Right. Darren, very good to see you again, and hopefully we'll see you.
Thank you, Sir David.
Bye, David.
Enjoy a cook-off lunch.
Roast beef. Be fine. See you later. Bye.
See you, David. Now, guys, thank you, Nilakshi, for joining us, Rapakshi and Barbara. Let me just fill you in. Did you hear that? David was the person who selected Kevin Peterson to play for England. How significant is that? That man, the selector of Kevin Peterson. And look what he did. He was a champion. Kevin Peterson was like Sonny Bill Williams of rugby. He was that of cricket.
Norman, I'll also make a move. So Nilakshi Sharma and Rupakshi Sharma can discuss about the woman cutting of Deepti Sharma, how Deepti Sharma did the woman cutting.
Yeah, Nilakshi Sharma and Rupakshi Sharma talking about Deepti Sharma, who did the woman CAD, not the man CAD, but the woman CAD. I love that. That's going to stick now. That's fantastic. I really think.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Bram. See you next time. Now, girls, this is like an all-girl program. It's Nilakshi and Rapakshi and should I call myself Nomashki or something? I'm not sure. No. All right. Now, we've got a big Nilakshi. So you're in Assam.
Yes, I'm in Assam.
So tell us about Assam today. What's the weather like there today?
It's not hot, but it's humidity is unbearable here. But the temperature is like 32, 34 degrees Celsius.
Really? Is it raining?
Is it summer in India?
It rains a lot. No, it's northeastern part of India.
So it is in fact.
It rains a lot here. It's been raining before I get here. It's been raining here.
So, is it summer in India?
Yes, it's summer.
I think it's about to leave, right? Because October is coming.
Yeah, it's yes.
So okay, so the October rains are coming.
Like October is the beginning of the winter back in India.
All right, but is that really winter? Is that truly winter?
Oh, gonna bring.
No, it's not winter actually.
It's gonna start from 6th October.
All right. I think it's a very exciting time because it Hyderabad.
We have a big festival coming here. So from 1st of October, it's called Durga Puja.
Oh, okay, Durga Puja.
Yes, you have heard that.
All right, let's read some questions, guys. Okay. Yeah, Tim David. Well, I think they haven't misjudged him at all. We were talking about that earlier. Okay. Oh, Obama Babu. Obama Babu is a very famous one of our rebuttal data. Should Harry Brook be ushered into the test squad? I think he should. Let's look at Obama Babu. Here we go. Where's Obama Babu?
They just went.
No, that was asking further up. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is about the man cat.
Should there be some regulation on the man cat run out? Believer that bowlers don't man can once he has performed his bowling action. A batter can have it start for understandable reasons.
Okay. Okay. So what this is the question that Obama was saying is, once the bowler is about to bowl the delivery, they're about to let it go, is a signal for the batsman to try to get out of his crease.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a fair thing. The fact is when the bowler lets the ball go, pretends to let the ball and dummies and then tries to run them out is actually not in the spirit of cricket. Do you understand? Like you're balking or you're not cheating, but you're pretending to do something you don't do it.
But the thing is, bowler is actually trying. The batsman is actually trying to like cheat. See, he haven't even thrown the ball, and he already made the pitch already small.
Yes, true. No, it's a good point. It works both
So
ways.
like even like without even start getting ball, he already like
taking advantage.
So
I get that. It's a good point because what do you think, Nalakshi?
Actually, I haven't followed the recent match of India England series.
Okay, well, now it's actually what happened, Nalakshi, and for the viewers as well who may not know, in the India versus England women's match, Dipti Sharma, there was only one wicket to take. She pretended to bowl, and the non-striking batter went out of their crease, and she turned around and ran them out, which is called Mancat. So it used to be not allowed. It's now a legal dismissal. But is it in the spirit of cricket to do that? Now, what David Graveney talked about earlier was, and Baram talked about giving a warning to the batter not to leave his crease. And that would be the way to do it. But that's technically not necessary because you're allowed to do it anytime because it's legal. So Baram and David suggested maybe putting a warning system where the umpires take charge, or even to deduct a run if they so-called cheat, running earlier than they're supposed to. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but if it's part of the rule, then warning is not necessary, right?
No?
I don't need to go. Like, did you go? Like, I can explain you. Do you understand Hindi?
Yes,
Yes, I.
I like.
This will be good for our viewers.
Like Hindi long time. Like जब वो बॉल फेंक रहा है मतलब बॉलर, तब वो क्या होता है कि जिसका रूल होता है कि उसको पैर उसके लाइन पे रखना है, बट उसने बॉल फेंकी नहीं, वो पहले ही लाइन छोड़ के अपने एक रन बनाने जाता है. बट दैट्स लाइक डिसएडवांटेज फॉर द बॉलर हु इज थ्रोइंग बिकॉज दैट वे द दूसरी टीम को एक पॉइंट मिल जाएगा. तो इसी कारण जो बॉल फेंक रहा था उसने एक चीटिंग करी, उसने बॉल फेंकी नहीं और जिसका पैर था वो आगे चला गया, तो इस वजह से उनको एक विकेट का नुकसान हो गया. तो that's
अच्छा.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Acha. I could have said it better myself.
Oh, yeah, because...
Yeah, I understand. But I still... Acha. That's what I was going to say, correctly. Good. That's good. The thing is, though, I have met Rahul Mankad, who was the son of the Mankad, the man who did it. Very interesting, the conversation with him. The man unfortunately passed away, which is very sad. Okay. Cameron Green versus Harry Brooks. What are your... Harry Brooks, of course, is, as David suggested, the up-and-coming future star. Cameron Green, the Australian star. Who's better? Well, at this early stage, who?
You can't tell.
You can't tell. You're right.
We can't tell.
Yeah.
That's an easy answer.
Norman, what do you think is a scene about going to replace Nathan Ellis?
Who's going to replace Nathan Ellis?
Either is seen about or Daniel Sims.
Oh, Sean Abbott. It's actually Sean. Sean's interesting to spell S-E-A-N.
Sean.
So Sean Abbott Unfortunately, you know what unfortunately the man did. He was the one that won the bowl to Philip Hughes when he was killed. By the way, Sean Abbott Philip Hughes was a player who played for Australia.
How was he killed?
On the SCG.
Why?
In the middle of the game, hit him in the back of the head.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
I thought like for purpose.
No. So Nathan Ellis, I think, is a better proposition than Sean Abbott. Why? Nathan Ellis is a much better bowler. Sean Abbott can bat, yes, but I think Nathan Ellis. Look, all-rounders are interesting people. All-rounders, you need to have them bat and bowl. I understand that. But there's got to be a predominance of bat or bowl. They can't do both equally. And I think Nathan Ellis is a much better bowler than Sean Abbott. And their batting's about equal. So I would argue Nathan Ellis is a better choice. Ben Stokes
I think Daniel Sams is also not performing well this time. Daniel Sams
has got the left arm capability, which is very important. That's why he's important as a replacement for Mitchell Stark.
And do you think Maxwell's performance is a bit of concerning because he haven't scored much run in combining the last two matches?
Yes, it is, but I'm afraid Glenn Maxwell is such a dangerous proposition that even though he's not playing well, it's a bit like Vero Cola. You can't leave him out of the side. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Stoinis is a different story. But see, Cam Green is not even in the Australian squad for the World Cup. He's a replacement at best. And that's amazing, actually. All right.
Yeah, even in India side, you see Akshar Patel is not in Indian World Cup.
Akshar Patel,
because I think he deserved that. I think he's far better than even Yuzi Chahal. If you drop Chahal.
The question here is Akshar Patel or Cameron Green, both not in the World Cup squad, but can they make last-minute changes? That's my question. I got a feeling they've still got a little window there to change. They will wait and see.
Yeah, I think they lost.
Yeah. Right, can you read this out, Bakshi?
Praveen Ivan will be very Praveen Ivan. This India versus Australia series just a series that brings confidence among players. That's right. The pitches are totally going to be different. Team David might suit Australia pitches, some 10 to 12 ball hits, 25 to 30 runs.
That's a very good point.
Very good point. That's very good, thing to say about.
And that's true because Australia is going to be the Australian pitch is going to be useful for Australia. We've got a huge advantage. It's our home ground.
Yeah, and he's just new to the match. Haven't practiced that much.
Yeah, I think that we've got a big advantage. Buckle Data's here. Should one of Mayank, Vihari, or dropped for Surya in tests? Well, Buckle Data's talking about test cricket now, not T20 cricket. It's a bit Mayank Agarwal should stay and Vihari should stay. I think at this moment, Surya Kumar's too early for tests, to be honest. Okay.
Praveen Ivan, for Pakistan, if Babar and Rizwan deports yearly means big trouble awaiting their batting. Why will they get deported?
Yes.
Well, if they get out.
Because those two are the only batters perform well. Rest of middle over is very exposed.
That's true, but I think they're being Pakistan are not just two batters; they've got a whole team of batters. It's a little bit hard to say that. I reckon. That's myself.
Yeah, I think it's their selection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, but if they do well, they're going to smash them. So it's an important one to keep. Okay, Harry Brook is the next Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson is a player where he had multiple talents. Harry Brook's right in that class. It looks like. Well, what David Gravity says goes. He selected a Kevin Peterson and Harry Brook. Okay. No, I wouldn't say that. That's good. I'll take it. ICC equals BCCI. ICC, of course, International Cricket Council. BCCI is the Board of Cricket Control for India.
India.
Okay.
And it's the richest board.
Yeah.
Vijay Murgod.
Oh, we won't do that. So Jabbar Mahali is saying hello. Ellis is out because of side strain. Well, is that the case? Let's have a look at the teams again. That's a pity if he's out because
didn't that start?
He is. No, not yet. Oh, they may have started. They would have started. So Daniel Sams is in for Nathan Ellis, which is a side strain. Okay. Let's have a look here. Looking at all the different. Let's have a look. One of the games has started. Let's have a look. They have, in fact, started. Cameron Green's already hit a 6. Cameron Green is on 8 not out after 2 balls. He hit a 6 in the first 2 balls. That's quite remarkable. Let's see if we can get some action here on TV. All right.
Oh, that's very old remote. In JPEG. Cool.
I've got a new remote.
Oh, that's very cool.
Okay, let's have a look here. We're looking at just saying we got there we are.
Oh, that's very
There we
cool.
are. So Bhuvanesh Kumar is opening up. None for 12 after 3 balls. Jesus. Green's on 12 of 3 balls.
Australia
Has he hit 2 6s? He's hit 2 6s.
That's good
Unbelievable.
starting.
He hit 4 and 6 actually.
I think Deepak Chahar should be given a chance at least. Place of Bhuvi.
Well, I tell you what, looks like Cameron Green's got to go to a wedding or something because he's hitting like he's got no tomorrow, he's no time. He's going for leather.
Where is going for, sorry?
It's going for leather means he's hitting the ball.
Oh, okay.
The leather is the ball in this case because balls are normally made of leather.
Norman,
Yeah,
this was
nice.
the only. This was this stadium where Rohit Sharma began his IPL career. You know.
Yeah. Oh my God, Cameron Green is just standing there. He's playing golf. He's not playing cricket. He's just going north. He's literally the last 2 balls. He's just stood there and tried to hit the ball out of the ground. Oh my gosh! You should see it. It's quite
That's
incredible.
good defend.
Rohit Sharma's a little bit up there's Rohit Sharma. I don't know what's going on. So Nathan Ellis is out with the side strain. Daniel Samson. This is like we're going to be not. He's going to be batting either for a short time. Unbelievable. Quite. He's done it again. Another shot. No, actually, he's played the same shot 4 balls in a row. He's connected with 2, and the rest he didn't connect. Did you see that was craziness? So actually,
I'm just waiting for.
Absolute.
I'm waiting for Akshar Patel to come. Actually.
Yeah. So Pakistan in the England match, which still got half an hour before that starts. What an incredible start! This Cameron Green. He must have had too many. What do they call them? What's the power drinks? What they call them?
Red Bull.
Red Bull. He's had too many Red Bulls.
Red Bull and Sting too.
He looks like he's got no tomorrow. Akshar Patel's now bowling. The spin bowler opening up from the other end. Yeah. And he did really well in the previous match. He's not selected. He's got Cameron Green there, not selected. Akshar Patel, not selected. Right. Why are they playing in this match? Unless they're still going to select them.
They just, the selectors just give priority to the seniors. That's they don't give priority to those who perform currently in the form. That's the main concern.
Craziness. Be very interesting to see what happens. Now, Steve Smith, I don't know why Steve Smith's in the side here. I think he's past his best. Aaron Finch, the Australian captain's now facing, who's not been in good form.
So David Warner is not playing.
No, David Warner's at home.
Oh yeah, I saw him.
And he's been a good year. His wife, Candice Warner, will be on the program with me and Bob Boria in October as well.
What about David Warner?
Well, he'll be playing.
Oh, he'll be playing with
you. Yeah, okay. But his wife will be with us with Boria.
Nice.
So you're going to meet her.
Okay.
And actually, when you get your perspective from India, we need to get you to have some fans behind you. We need to get some Indian. You need to go out in the streets of Assam and get your fans together.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah, I'll try.
During the World Cup, we'll across to you and we'll see the Indian fan reaction on the streets of India, of Assam. All right? Can you do that?
That would be great. I will try.
Rapaksha is going to do it here in Australia, and you can do it in India.
Yeah, of course.
What's happened here? There's another.
Sorry, I was late today. Sorry, I went to the hospital with my mother.
Oh, what happened? Everything alright?
My mom's My mom's been sick this past couple of days. She's been suffering from hematuria. So nothing serious now. She's in medicine. She's in meds, but uh, she was serious from past 3 days like that.
All right, guys, we might finish it there.
Yeah.
We might finish it there. We'll finish the program today. So we've had a great start. We've got Australian under 18.
Oh,
with-
18, the third, four.
my gosh.
My God.
Cameron Green's on fire. He scored 17 so far. And of course, we'll watch what happens with Pakistan England later on. Thank you for your time, Nalakshi.
Thank you, Norman.
Thank you.
Bye,
very much.
Rupakshi.
All right, guys. All right, viewers, we're going to
Nice
come
to
back.
meet you.
We can you connect on social media, right? So you guys,
Yeah,
we're
sure.
going to talk more in future programs. So all the best to you all, guys. See you tomorrow, if not in the near future. All the best.
Okay.
See you, Nakshi.
Thanks for having me, Norman.
Bye bye.
Bye.